Alright guys, unless you've been living under a rock, this past week a new show has came out on Netflix called Baby Reindeer. This show features a stalker called Martha Scott, who stalks a man named Donnie. Now this is a true story, so let's get straight into the plot. The show begins when Martha walks into the bar and Donnie offers Martha a cup of tea. Martha says she can't afford the tea, so Donnie tells her it's on the house. After this, Martha gained an obsession with Donnie and started stalking him. Every day, Martha would be in the bar and she'd ask Donnie for a glass of Diet Coke. Eventually, Martha found Donnie's emails and started emailing him. He gained over 40,000 emails from Martha. No, that's all I can really say without spoiling the plot, but the actual actor for Donnie is played by his real-life counterpart, Richard Gadd, aka Donnie. Actually done comedy in real life, and I'll put a clip on the screen right now from TikTok.
Well, hasn't Venus Williams let herself go? Ed, I'm not sure that was right. I don't know why I said Venus Williams. Can we take that again? I'm gonna say someone else.
Now, if you listen closely, you can actually hear the real-life Martha Scott laughing in the background. Many people are speculating who the real-life Martha Scott actually is, and some people have actually found a Facebook that they think that is Martha Scott, but I will not leak the name or say the name in this video, as it's obviously quite private and I don't think it's right to do that. But I do have some tweets from the woman who is speculated to be Martha Scott, and I'll put them on the screen right now. As you can see guys, the text reads, "My curtain needs to be hung. You can't spell it's Gadot," and just a text saying X, all tweeted towards Mr. Richard Gadd. Now guys, before the end of the video, I do have one more clip to show you and I'll put it on the screen right now.
I used to blame myself so much for what happened. Why did I drink it? How could I be so fucking naive? My fault, his fault, my fault, his fault, my fault, his fault, my fault, his fault. And all of a sudden 6 years have passed and I'm not young anymore. In some ways I wished it was my fault. Like if anyone was going to fuck up my life, I'd want it to be me. But it's not my fault. It's not my fault. And I don't know how I feel about that yet. I do not have those answers. But I did make 3 mistakes on the way, right? 3 mistakes on the way. 3 mistakes. Okay, 3 mistakes, right? Mistake number 1, wearing shorts and a t-shirt. I mean, I was practically asking for it. Am I right, ladies? I'm joking. Mistake number 1. Mistake number 1. Tying the incident into this idea that I was no longer a man anymore. This idea that I'd been feminized. It's funny. Out of all the things that bothered me, and trust me, there was a lot that bothered me. There was a lot that bothered me. The one thing that bothered me most, and it seems ridiculous in retrospect, the one thing that bothered me the most, the one thing that bothered my monkey the most, this idea that I was no longer a man. This idea that I'd been feminized. And 6 years on, what is masculinity? What does that really mean? It's just a word. It's just a box for people to put things in. It doesn't exist. And I let it bother me for 6 years. And if masculinity does exist, then masculinity is the problem with everything. It's the problem on my side in terms of not speaking out, but it's the problem on the other side as well in terms of doing something like this in the first place. A lack of power in a man's head driving him towards primal sexual monkey dominance. Masculinity creates wars. Femininity doesn't create wars. What women do we know have created wars? Invaded other countries. Well, Thatcher in Argentina, but she had a big iron cock. I'm absolutely convinced. Mistake number 2. I thought that if I stayed silent and kept it to myself, did enough exercise, went out every morning and I ran, and I ate the right food, and I read the right books, and I meditated, then one day I'd wake up and the monkey wouldn't be there anymore. It'd be like a bad breakup. But I've come to realize that this is always going to be a part of my life. The monkey's always going to be there. And instead of fighting against him, I now need to learn to work with him. And that goes 2 ways. He needs to learn to work with me too. For example, he did not want me to do this show. He did not want me to do this show. He was worried people would judge. He was worried I'd tell it wrong. He was worried that people would think I was making up. He was worried that people from my school would come down. He was worried that people who came to see Waiting for Gadot will come and see this and think, what the flying fuck is he doing? But I had to do it. I had to. And ever since I started doing it, that monkey voice has got that little bit quieter, that little bit smaller, that little bit less aggressive. All the important people in my life know inner judgment has been replaced with conversation, silence with acceptance. And I think of all those tight chests I could have saved, all that running to forget, all the endless therapy, had I just spoken about it sooner. Sometimes the thought of something can be scarier than the thing itself. The third mistake was putting this show in the comedy section.
Alright guys, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.